It's an open field.
An open field. Okay.
Mm-hmm. High grass.
High grass.
It's kind of windy. Windy and it's blowing. It's blowing to the right.
What do you see if you look right?
There's at the top of the hill, and there's more baby hills.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like a small town.
Do you recognize this place?
No.
No. Okay. Do you feel drawn towards that town?
No.
No.
It's just there.
It's just there. Okay. What about if you turn left? What do you see on the left?
More hills.
Okay.
Kind of like rolling. And the sun is setting over there.
So the sun sets to your right, to your left, and you've got this little town to your right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about out in front of you?
Seems like more hills.
More hills. What about if you look down at your feet? What do you notice?
I don't have any shoes.
You don't have shoes? Okay. Do you have bare feet?
Yes.
Okay. Are you masculine or female energy?
Female.
Female. Okay. Do you notice anything interesting about your feet or out of the ordinary?
They're just ordinary.
They're just ordinary? Okay. So you recognize them?
Yes.
Okay. So scan a little bit up your body and just notice what you notice. What are you wearing? Do you have any specific jewelry on?
I'm wearing just a loose, like tunic.
Tunic. Okay. What color is the tunic?
Kind of just like a light tan.
Okay.
I think I have long hair.
Long hair. What color is your hair?
It's brown.
Brown. Okay.
Thicker than I would usually have.
Do you see your arms or your hands?
Yeah, I'm just standing there.
Are you wearing any jewelry?
Maybe like a stone ring.
Mm-hmm. What color is the
I
stone?
think it's like a deep purple. It's like a big oval on my left middle finger.
All right. Every single stone has a consciousness. Everything has a consciousness. If you connect with the consciousness of that purple stone, what do you sense?
It's powerful.
Yeah, what kind of powerful? What does it do?
It influences, but it's kind but not forceful.
What's the stone connected to? Is it a portal or is it a being?
It's like a connector. Not really. Not really a portal. It's not really a being. It maybe brings them together.
It brings them together?
Yeah.
Brings who together?
You can access through it.
How do you use that?
For answers?
Mm-hmm.
No. For guidance? For the steps.
For what steps?
For the next job.
What kind of work do you do?
Not a job, but the next assignment.
And what do your assignments usually entail?
Passing through the towns for interacting with the people.
So your job is to pass through, interact with the people, and for what purpose? What does that do for them or for you?
It teaches them things.
Like what kind of things?
Things that could make their life easier.
Do you have a sense of when this happened?
It could be the past, but it could be in the future. It doesn't have a time.
Were there others like you?
Not so many.
Not so many. Okay. So your job was to go through the different towns and groups of people and teach them things to make life easier.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give me an example of what kind of things you teach them?
More about just not necessarily technology tools, just more kindness and lighten the load. There's just too much. There's the stress. It's not so much.
It's almost like ease their mind.
Yeah, it's not so much tangible.
And what kind of stresses were these people facing generally?
They're just trying to survive.
What are they trying to survive, or
They're just like
why don't they know?
they're just on the wheel of survival.
So they see living as a struggle.
Yeah, it's just a struggle to. There's a friction. It doesn't need to be there.
And so you come and you show them a different way to think about things?
Yes.
And how many groups have you done this for, or how long do you normally stay?
I don't stay long. Many groups, and I feel I can't count how many. It's been a while, and I'm tired.
Will you need to pass on this knowledge eventually?
If they absorb it, then they will. Then many will. Many will be able to do this.
Okay. Does it look like they're absorbing it?
Sometimes.
What else do you notice?
That the women accept it more willingly than men.
Why is that?
Because of just they're just more accepting and willing to help themselves.
And so this village that's to the right of you, is that where you're supposed to go?
I think I'm passing through
okay.
it.
So you've already been there?
I've been there.
Okay.
I met one woman that I seem to have helped her with a good spark.
So she got it. She got the teachings.
Yes.
Okay, I understand. So where are you headed to next?
I'm not sure.
Which way are you headed?
Straight ahead.
Straight ahead.
North, I guess.
Okay. So when you say this village is to your right and the wind is coming from the left and both sides have hills, and then out in front of you is what versus what's behind you?
It's just more open space. I think the village was just isolated in these hills. So I just am going forward to the direction in front of me.
So let's go forward. And at any point, you can speed things up. It's as if you press a fast forward button. So you can press the fast forward button, you can speed it up, and you can see the journey until something interesting happens, and then you can naturally bring it back to normal speed. Okay? So go ahead and fast forward and come to an interesting time and place. And then tell me what you see.
It's just dark in these woods, and the trees are very tall.
How do you feel?
It's kind of cool outside.
And what is the necklace telling you? I get the word amulet. Does that feel right?
Sure. Yeah. It's not telling me anything right now. I think there's a lake, though.
There's a lake? Okay.
And there's the moon. It seems to be full. I think I'll just stay here just for the night, but there's no one here. Maybe someone is coming. I think some men are coming, maybe.
Is that good or bad?
It's not good or bad.
So how do you normally spend these nights? If you can't find anywhere to stay, what do you do?
There's a lake, so I can wash off my feet and reset. I think there's 4 men coming. They're on horses. They'll be there at some point in the night, so I'm not really waiting for them, but since they're coming, I'm just gonna stay until they come.
Do you know who these 4 men are?
They might be leaders.
Leaders? What kind of leaders?
One of them is in charge, and then the other 3 are like his men.
What is he in charge of?
I think there's a bigger city.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere on the other, where the forest ends on the other side.
So it's one main leader and then 3 of his men. And he's the leader of the nearby city. Is that where you're going? Are you going towards that city?
Not consciously, but perhaps.
Okay.
Perhaps he will bring me there.
Oh, is that what your necklace is telling you? Your amulet?
Just seems like that's how it's gonna pan out.
Okay. And that feels right to do?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a negative thing.
Okay. So what feels right? You're waiting for the man. Would you like to speed up again?
Sure.
Okay, so when you're ready, you can speed up, experience things, and then stop at the next appropriate time and place. You can just press the button again and it'll play at a normal pace. Whenever you're ready, be there now.
They're asking me who I am.
So what do you say when they ask you?
I'm not anyone of great importance.
Are you though?
It depends. It depends on them and how they receive.
What about your necklace? Is that of great importance?
It could be.
So how do you interact with them?
They want to take me to the town,
Okay.
which is fine. And there's stone road, and they walk slowly on there. They walk their horses slowly since I don't have one.
How old would you say you are? Are you a young woman? Are you elderly?
I feel like my early mid-20s,
Okay.
maybe 24.
So you're a younger woman.
Yes.
Okay.
But I've been doing this for a while.
Who taught you to do this?
I'm not sure.
Not sure. Okay. So you're headed towards the city. Tell me when you arrive at the city or if something interesting happens on your journey. Okay.
Going into the city gates.
Okay.
It's still dark. They're taking me to, I guess it's like a castle.
Castle. Okay. Does it belong to that main leader?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he is. I don't think he's in charge, but he's up there. So it's the middle of the night. So they give me a place to sleep, and then they call me into the room, into like court.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In the morning.
Okay.
And once I tell them what I have been doing, they render my services.
Okay.
And then they ask me to stay.
Do you get any sense of where you might be?
It could be somewhere in what will be or was Europe, but I don't know. I can't say for certain if there's like a country or if countries exist.
That's okay. All right, but you know it's in that part of the world.
It's not in America.
Got it. Okay. So what do you do next? You've been hired by the court. What do you do next?
So they give me a like I can stay in the.
Mm-hmm.
They give me like a household, like not a household, but they give
Lodging?
me like a. Yes.
Okay. And then what happens?
I just can do work, and all I know is that my just work involves speaking with people.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a private, one-on-one, maybe.
Okay.
But just for this job,
Okay.
they're tailoring what I usually would do to meet their own needs.
And then what happens?
I think I stay here for a while.
You do. Okay. Is it because of the size of the city? Because of how many people come to see you?
It's an interesting task, so I stay.
I see. Okay. All right. And then what happens? Do you go somewhere else?
It's all that I can see in this life.
Okay. So if you're ready, you can finish this life, go to the last day of this life. Go to the last day of this life and tell me what's happening.
Seems like I don't live as old as I think.
What happened?
I think I just am tired.
You're tired, so it's your choice to leave.
I'm tired, so I just go to sleep.
Are you still in that castle?
Yes.
So you stayed.
I stayed. I think I'm in a different room in there now.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they moved me at some point, but
Okay.
I stayed there to do work, and then maybe I'm 54.
Okay. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and take your last breath. Leave that body. And then just come into that knowing of every life has a purpose and a lesson. What do you think was the purpose and the lesson of that life?
To serve.
To serve. Okay. Was it a happy life? Did you fulfill what you set out to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was content.
Nice. Life fulfilled. Beautiful. And then what happens? Is there anyone there in the afterlife to chat with you or to help you make decisions on the way forward?
It's dark. There's a white figure.
There's a white figure. Do you want to interact with this figure? Can you speak to it?
I guess I don't have anything. It said you should just keep going.
Okay. And what was connected to that amulet? Was it connected to this white figure?
No.
No.
It's connected to divine spirits.
Spirits. Okay.
So,
Okay. And so this being is just telling you to jump into the next life?
yes.
Okay.
Or just go on.
Do you want to do that?
No.
Why not?
Because I want to stay in the void for a little longer.
Okay. Will he let you or she?
Well, yes, it is a choice.
It's a choice. Okay. So this white being's telling you to move on, but at your own pace.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, what are you able to do while you stay there longer? What can you do? What happens there?
I can see it's like I'm zoomed out and like there's marbles.
Marbles.
They're tiny. They have like swirls of color inside. They're orbs.
Okay, orbs. And what are these orbs?
They could be planets or they could be like proto-planets.
What do you do with them?
I watch.
You watch.
And you can choose to go or you can stay.
Choose to go where?
You can go to the ones that can accept.
Oh, the ones that can accept you to go on them?
Yes.
Okay. Beautiful. So what do you choose? What do you decide?
It's tiresome to go there, so I want to stay. But if you stay too long in the void, then you're just idle.
So when you look at these orbs, what do you notice about them?
They're different colors and different like blends of colors.
And if you decided on one, what would happen? What would have to happen to you in order to go be on that planet?
You have to match. So you might have to like change to adapt, or like you can't be the same on one and then just go to the other. You have to match.
So are you picking one?
Yeah, there's one that's got like green and maroon and like yellow and gray clouds that swirl. I don't think it has a ground.
So you're picking that one? All right. And so what do you have to do in order to...
It's very heavy.
It's heavy.
Not really gas, but clouds. You can't see very much. You can't really see the sun. It's just like diffused light.
And tell me about the process you have to go through. What do you have to do with yourself in order to experience this orb?
I also have to become like a heavy gas mixture.
And you're able to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that quite easy for you?
Yes, it's easier than becoming a human.
Okay. What is your energy, or where are you from?
I can't say for sure.
Are there others like you?
A few.
So then what happens? Do you switch over to be this heavy gas?
Yes, and you could travel through this other planet. You can't really see the sun. It's like kind of looks green. once you get into it. A murky green.
And how does this planet feel? What do you do there?
It's kind of like a holding area. Just like a development zone.
For what?
For formation. You can become more dense.
Mm-hmm. So is it like a good transition planet?
Yes, you could become more dense, or you can become less dense, depending on where you're going.
So depending on where you're going next?
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the purpose of going to this planet? You got to choose the orb you wanted to go to, but this orb sounds like it's just a pit stop. So why would you choose going there?
Because you can be adaptive.
Mm.
It was tiresome being in a fixed state for so long.
And do you have an amulet in that?
No, because there's not really a body. It's just
Okay.
it's like a dense vapor.
I see, okay. And then what happens? How long do you spend there?
I mean, it's hard to measure. Maybe, I want to say cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So many cycles. Maybe 40 cycles.
40 cycles? Okay.
Well, what are the cycles?
And then what happens? When you finish a cycle, where do you go?
After this cycle,
So after all 40 cycles?
after the 40 cycles,
Okay.
you can go to the blue planet.
Okay. So is there significance to the 40 cycles?
No,
You just chose 40 cycles.
that's just how many. That's just how long it felt to become less dense, and
I see.
decompress is not the correct word, but I feel like that makes sense.
Okay. And what's the blue planet?
It's just a lighter existence, and just everything is kind of blue. Things are kind of scaly, and
Scaly,
they
okay.
shiny and scaly. Very delicate jungle vegetation,
Jungle vegetation.
but
Okay.
it's blue with tiny scales.
And you said you get to go to the blue planet. So have you been looking forward to this one?
Not looking forward to. It's an easy existence. It's lighter, and it reflects light.
Mm-hmm. Do we know this planet? Does it have a name?
No.
No. What about the other one, the green, yellow, gray planet?
It would be similar to what you call Venus, but
Venus.
but
Okay.
it's not this Venus.
Where is this other Venus? Is it in a totally different solar system? Is it in a different dimension?
It's in a different system, similar dimension,
Mm-hmm. And this blue planet?
higher.
What kind of beings live on the blue planet?
They look like they don't have a giraffe neck, but they have like a kind of like a giraffe face mixed with a bear. They have little antennae with little balls at the end of the antennae.
Okay.
They're just excited all the time.
Okay.
They don't really need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You can just use their excitement, and they understand each other.
Okay. Have you been on this planet before?
No,
It's new to you?
don't visit the same ones
Oh, I see. So once you've been on a planet, you don't tend to go back?
for the most part.
Okay. So is the same job that you had on that other planet, the Earth-like planet, do you have the same similar sort of job on all these other planets that you...
Kind of,
Okay.
in a way.
So
They are excited because they always want to be. They want to be more. They're in the know,
Mm-hmm.
so it can be more of a higher capacity because they are in the know already, and they don't have to begin in the elementary levels.
I see. Okay. Do you know yet where home is?
No, I don't know.
Okay. All right. So what happens next? You spend time on this blue planet. What happens next?
Just interact with them. They're all over their planet instead of isolated.
I see. Okay.
So it takes a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't take a long time because there are so many of them, but so interconnected already.
Mm-hmm. So tell me about overall your life there on this planet.
It's easy.
It's easy. Okay. So whenever you're ready, I want you to fast forward again. You can experience the whole entire fast forward, but fast forward as if pressing a button, and then take me to an important time and place.
I am standing on a planet that is kind of like a moon,
A moon?
but I am large.
Okay, how so?
Like, I'm standing on it and my feet can grip the front and the back.
I see. So you're huge.
Yes.
Okay.
And there are many other marbles in front of me. And they're set up in a serpentine arrangement in front of me.
Okay. What's the purpose of that?
I'm just waiting for the others to come.
Okay. So you're in that choosing section again?
No, I am waiting for others to come that have also traversed. And then we will make an amalgamation of our collective experiences and decide what. I don't know. I can't see what we get to decide.
Do you have any amulets again?
No, but it feels like I have like a big draping robe
Mm-hmm.
with a cord.
The cord?
Like a cord with a fringe.
I see. Okay.
And it's not so much hair, but I guess it could be. It comes down like hair all the way to my waist, and we're white and gold. We all look white and gold.
Okay. Are you masculine energy or feminine energy?
Feminine.
Okay.
Most of the others that are coming are masculine.
Mm-hmm.
There's some. It's not an even disbursement. It's like, I don't know, a third feminine. The rest are masculine.
And do you all tend to work together?
We have the same. We're the ones that you asked if there was others.
Oh, okay. So it's your soul group, so to speak?
Sure, yes.
Okay. So your soul group. Do you tend to go to these locations together, or do some break off, go somewhere else, then you meet up again?
We're usually not all together except for in this place.
Okay.
But there have been times where we go to, some of us go, and then a lot of it is by yourself.
And where is this place?
It's in a different 6.
Sorry?
It's in the 6.
What's the 6?
It's the other place. It's not in this. It's not in this dimension. It's in the 6.
6th dimension. Or is it called just 6?
No, 6th dimension.
Okay. So it's in the 6th dimension. Is that where you generally reside?
It's where we meet.
That's where you meet. Okay. So what happens next? After everybody arrives, what do you do?
We discuss and then we combine all of the experiences into the one.
What is it you're trying to achieve?
A knowledge of how helping is being accepted and continues on after we leave.
I see. And from your perspective, because you're able to stand on the planet so much because you're huge, how is it all going? How are the planets doing?
It's medium to okay.
Medium. Okay. And how's Earth doing? Have you been to Earth for a while?
haven't been to Earth in a while. Haven't been since the one that I just told you about.
Okay. Are you gonna go back?
Not anytime soon. We don't generally repeat the same place.
So where does the body fit into this?
She is on her Earth now.
Mm-hmm.
In her now, but she wants to get to work so she can move on.
Okay. And what does get to work look like?
She has to do this similar. She has to work with the people in the same way.
I see. Is she being prepared for that now?
Well, she has already been prepared.
I guess, is she preparing for it consciously now to start?
Oh yeah, she already knows she has to go.
And what does that look like?
She needs to, well, she has the right preparation.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to interact with the groups in the same way that we would usually.
Mm-hmm.
In you would say networks of the people.
Is she starting to do that, or?
In a way,
Okay.
she needs to amplify her reach.
Okay. Who am I speaking with now?
I am more of a goddess entity.
Goddess entity.
You would say I am just a helper.
Are you one of her guides or her helpers?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I help many, but not so many.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, she came with a bunch of questions. Are you the one to ask?
You can ask.
Okay. And then if you can't answer a question, then you just tell me and we'll ask her higher self. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
Okay. So she says, well, I mean, it's been 10 months since her last session, so she seems to have learned a ton. Is she opened herself up to head in the right direction?
Yes.
And how to go forward? It seems like we're kind of operating from a clean slate a bit.
Patiently.
Patiently, okay. Are we in the eye of the needle?
Yes.
Are we through it, or are we on the beginning part of it?
Oh, the beginning.
Well, can you tell us anything about that?
What would you like to know?
Well, there's still a little bit of a feeling that things can go either way. Are we beyond the tipping point, or are we still at a point where self can still fall into an undesirable area?
You know the answer, but I will clarify that as long as you stay with your intention, you will move forward in stride.
And how do we connect with our highest alignment?
Well, Allie, you have to listen within, but also be a little more bold.
More bold?
You have to balance. It's a balance.
Balance, okay.
She's ready to do more work.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you have some skills to share. She can learn easy and quickly as long as she avoids frustration.
Okay. Is that why she seems so peaceful now that she lost her job?
That was necessary human skills that you will integrate on the next path.
Mm-hmm.
They're frustrating because she knows there is more than what she was doing.
Can you give us any physical signs of the right path so that we recognize it a bit more?
Don't want to lead you on with these signs.
Mm-hmm.
You are on a good start.
Okay.
You will need to reach many more before you take the next leg of the journey.
Okay. Does our ego block the way a lot?
No,
No?
not at present. Just many people who touch many do form an ego,
Uh-huh.
but that is not where this path is coming from.
So the feeling that I get, for example, this morning was the Thoth energy. Did I decipher that appropriately?
You will interact with many that harness this Thoth energy. This morning could be one example,
Mm-hmm.
but you will see this recurring, as this is also very present at this time.
Okay. That makes sense. So the signs that we get to go forth and trust, we just have to keep doing that?
Trust is key. You may hold on to your butterfly
Mm-hmm.
as a sign.
Okay.
Water droplets may also help you.
Water droplets, okay. And when we did this 10 months ago, you showed her, or someone showed her the idea of the rings, and that at that point she had up-leveled to the next ring.
Mm-hmm.
How does that look now?
You're still in the same ring,
Mm-hmm.
moving around it fluidly.
Okay.
You must continue around the ring with speed until it's just eliminated, and then will illuminate outward.
Okay.
That is the final ring, but it's not a ring.
I'm assuming you're showing her some visuals so that she sees a different part of the story.
The first ring was a seed. The
Okay.
second ring is where you are now. The illumination is the third.
And what is actually going on in the world right now? What is the purpose of this phase, this lockdown, this...
There is dissolution of, how you would say, the old ways.
It's breaking apart?
It will be breaking apart. You may at some point resume what you would say, or how they are saying, new normal, but it will take this generation and subsequent generations to continue the domino effect, you would say. But the shift has already occurred. It's shift, and then it will continue to slowly change.
So there's no going back?
Some will go back, and they will not shift. They will be stuck of their own choosing. Some will be ignorant. Some will choose to stay stuck.
Will we notice a huge difference in our lifetime?
We would hope so, but it is a choice for all of humanity. The more that choose the more you will see.
So it isn't just about me choosing and then going to the place where that choice is. It's about many around me choosing it too.
The more that choose, the more more shift will be seen, as you say, physically.
Okay. I mean, obviously right now, and I'm not really necessarily getting into a political thing about it, but as far as Trump's concerned, has his energy changed? I feel like his energy has shifted.
He is but a pawn, you would say. He may be receiving information in contact that instill with him questions in himself. He will try to remain consistent externally, or he is not someone who's going to show changeability.
But he is in fact changing?
He could be. He will not let that show.
Okay. And what about the other politicians? Is that about to shift?
We would hope that you would shift away from your collected government style.
So it's an individual choice. as well.
There is much resistance to change these institutions, but those who are in these institutions will die at some point. When the younger generation comes, they will change. They are overdue in their appointments.
I guess what we're all kind of hoping for is that we see things get better in our lifetime.
It's onset.
What about telepathy? Does she have the potential for it? Is it the time for it yet?
She needs to bring more balance into her everyday mindset.
So she said that she meditates a lot more now. Is that helpful?
There was too much turmoil in her day to day. It would not be conducive to have given it to her prior. But she has the innate ability, as do many. There may be training tools available.
Like what?
Some meditations. She will need to find new practices.
She wanted to know if there's an activation that she needs.
No, it's already.
It's already there.
Yeah.
Okay. Does she have a superpower?
Well, she has the intuition.
Do I have a superpower?
Your superpower, as you say, would be to create quickly. You can build. You have much energy.
Okay.
To construct, and to construct comes easy for you.
I love that. She wanted to know how to level up.
Find more like-minded individuals to bring into your, not mission, not circle. Tribe. That is a similar meaning.
So we were saying that maybe she does something small, like open an Instagram that's just going to be aimed at that, so that she attracts those kinds of people into her life. Is that a nice step?
That was a nice step.
Okay.
Also take more concrete, everyday steps.
Okay.
Or the way you use your social media can often be aspirational.
I see. She was saying about if she needs a cleanse or what food she should be eating. Is there food that she needs to leave out of her diet too?
She should stay away from the things she would normally stay away from. She does an okay job.
Anything she needs more of?
More variety of the antioxidants.
What's the best source of that for her?
I mean, she will need more greens. She does eat antioxidants, a lot of berries and fruits, but more greens.
More greens. And what about a body scan? Can we do that? Can you do that with her?
Sure.
She especially wanted to know about her ovaries, the cysts.
They will come and go. She thinks that she may have manifested it. Maybe some is out of her control with what you would call environmental pollutants.
How do we face those? What do we do for those?
Well, this is a complicated matter. You must raise your own vibrational field to repel what you can energetically.
Okay.
And also the change in which you asked prior. Much of this will include environmental and ecological systemic shifts. For on that greater scale, you will surely crumble if you do not shy away from the current trajectory.
So, can you give us any concrete steps that we should take? No. Okay. We just need to feel for it and know what's best for us?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay. So what's the best way to raise our vibration?
Well, it's different for everyone.
Okay. What about us two?
You're doing good meditations and you are drinking enough water.
Mm-hmm.
You must find more like you to help you on your path,
Okay.
to serve as a battery when you are running low.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You will not be siphoning energy. That is not the meaning. Your energy will be exponential
Okay.
when you come into contact with others
Mm-hmm.
in your, say, tribe.
Got it. So just continue to light the light so that others can recognize you, and then...
It may sound mundane, but it's actually that simple.
Okay. Is that what you meant also by I can be bolder? I can put it out there more?
You can reach more people. This is a good time to start.
Okay. It definitely feels that way.
More people are malleable in their beliefs now more than ever.
Ah, okay.
They are more willing to adapt and...
Is that the other purpose of this quarantine, is to make people question things a bit more and therefore be a little bit more open-minded than they normally would be?
Of course.
That's beautiful. So when you did her body scan, did you find anything?
She would like her heart center to be the lead. It has been the intuition up until this point.
Okay.
A heart center with the sacral center that will need strengthening and reinforcement to do this.
So how can she do that specifically?
Compassion
Mm-hmm.
and just willpower.
Okay.
Not willpower to be forceful, just willpower to allow.
That actually covers all her questions. Should we also contact her higher self?
What questions did you have, Abby?
Me personally?
Yes.
Well, me personally, I would like a bit more. I guess I was a little bit thrown this morning by what I felt. So with the Subha Kriya, I feel like it's diving deeper into some of the spots that I haven't looked at before. But I don't know why I'm so concerned about stepping into an energy I shouldn't be stepping into for my highest good.
You're finding the corners of the shadow work.
Yeah.
The shadows may be deepest in these corners.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you uncertain?
I guess because when I was so excited about finding the Thoth energy before, I had a very strong warning not to connect with it too much as to lose myself. So now I'm a little confused as to if I step into these corners, am I losing myself or am I finding the dark corners in order to bring light?
You're holding the candle into the corners where the light would not usually reach.
Mm-hmm.
You can meet the darkness without letting it take you on, but you may feel some of this darkness as you creep into the corners.
Okay. So just keep my intention clear and keep going forward.
Stay mindful.
Uh-huh.
Do not let patterns reintegrate. Do not approach it with fear, because that will make it larger. It's okay. It's a safe place if you hold the candle.
Mm-hmm. And will our path illuminate if we keep going forward?
Yes.
So we don't need to necessarily worry about if we're going in the right direction. It'll illuminate if we continue to have our consistent intention.
Yes.
So everything turns out okay.
Yes. Do not overthink it.
What about although we're not, I don't think either of us are stressed about it anymore like we used to be, but as far as manifesting abundance and being able to take care of ourselves, do you have any tips?
It will find you.
It will find us.
Everything is resetting. The rules will change in terms of the physical abundance that you are speaking of. But the rules do not change. The universal rules of abundance do not change.
So law of attraction is still quite real.
It's still quite real.
Okay. Do you have any messages? Any guidance?
Enjoy the next steps. You will be okay, and it will be lighter than the load than you are used to.
Is that what's confusing some people, is suddenly the load is so much lighter, they're worried?
The load was never meant to be heavy.
No, but we certainly turned it heavy,
You
didn't we?
made it, yes. You made it heavy. You accumulate too much physically and too much mentally. You add worry where there is not. The lack of load worries some people.
Yeah. Is there anything I should ask that I didn't ask?
No, this is a comprehensive understanding at this time, but you may come back and maybe it will be someone else who can provide additional information.
Okay. And should we be connecting by yourself?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Well, we certainly thank you so much for all the information you've given. This has been incredible. Now let's leave that place now. Mm-hmm. We are moving away from that goddess being with love and peace. And we now leave this scene with gratitude.
Hello.
I honor you and I thank you and respect you for all the aid you've given us today. I know that you hold all the records in all her different lives. May I ask you some questions, please?
Sure.
Why is it that you chose to show her this part of herself in all those different planets and what her mission is on all these planets? What was the purpose or lesson in showing her that, and how will it aid her in this life?
A reminder that this is not the only place. You don't need to get so down if this life is not going the way you expect it, because it is not the only life, the only way, not the only way of existence.
I know that being, that goddess being, did a body scan, but is there anything that we need to scan again?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything to add to any of her questions, or should I ask the questions again?
No, you mostly can discover the answers in your natural conversations. You guys have enough information at this point between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
But you can always come back and ask if you require that.
I see.
Reassurance. Keep going on your current path.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be a time when you know that you can move to add more to, how did you say earlier, the load.
Mm-hmm.
And that time will become clear. You were just laying groundwork.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. A lot of groundwork.
Be patient with the groundwork because you must lay it.
I did a session recently, and the higher self of that person told me that the awareness we'll have now pales in comparison to the awareness we will have in a few months. Can you tell us anything about that?
Well, I don't want to spoil any surprises, but there might be another big wow moment before you are done with the transitory shift.
Mm-hmm.
This might be obvious to some, and it may be unrecognizable to the others.
And again, with the reference to eye of the needle, we're only at the start of the eye?
You're moving through it. There will be the rest of this year as a transit,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not a bad thing.
A lot seems to be shifting, but as we're talking, there also seems to be quite a noticeable polarity. Can you tell me anything about that?
It's just in the human nature. It's a tiresome attribution.
So is it true that I'm sensing? I don't necessarily feel at all like following, the everydays of what's going on, but what I'm feeling is that there is the reason we're seeing the polarity is because there's quite a few beings in resistance to having their mind change. So even if they're feeling like maybe they can potentially let go of rigid thought pattern, they've attached a lot to what it means to change their mind.
Well, that is just ego. When you have ego wants to stand rigid and is fear of who they are if they change. That is not what they said that they are.
I see.
Just let them do as they will. They will not receive the message.
Mm-hmm. I see.
It will be easier to disregard these people as you move forward, because so many more will not be of that mind.
So the shift is happening slowly but surely. And the other thing was, at the end of last year, I had a session with someone and they saw a lot of beings leaving the planet, i.e. passing on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that's what's happening now. Is it necessarily that a lot of these beings will simply leave? So to us, would it seem like they left, as in disappeared, or would it seem like they passed?
Do you mean beings incarnate or
Yes.
beings? So beings incarnate or of an older generation with older, more rigid frameworks, and those definitely won't serve. So there was much transit at that time, which is natural and fine, speeding up the process for what you are seeing now. They have served their time, and the change must happen quicker.
I see.
And they would not have been beneficial for them to stay for this purpose, for their purpose or this purpose.
So it actually seems there's a bit more to come then.
Well, yes.
Is there going to be another surge of this virus or something similar?
It's just hard to say because there is so much misinformation. So they will say so. There's the possibility that they will say so.
And those that believe that?
Those who believe that will go further into fear. Those that meet with a questioning mind will survive that second wave. Not survive. Will take it in stride easier. For the surge is not the virus. That's not what you were even asking about, really. You're looking for an answer for, will it spike?
So it might not even spike, but they might say that it's spiked.
Yeah, that seems like more of what the figures will say.
It seems to me like those that are calling the shots on that are doing so out of their own fear for survival, as in, if we don't see that kind of a spike and don't believe in it, then their purpose in this lifetime would be questioned in their own eyes.
They are clinging to their own self-preservation.
Yeah,
they would just open up and apologize or admit publicly to their own misguidance and faults, then there would be met with so much compassion, albeit there would be met with so much hate. But it would instill more authenticity, but that does not seem the path. Therefore, what you discussed earlier, the generation in power must die off. It will happen in its natural course. And unfortunately, you may wish it to be sooner, albeit without a malicious intent.
People kept getting, or I guess keep getting, these visuals of a new Earth, or a 3D Earth kind of splitting away from a 5D Earth, and that we're in the eye of the storm sort of thing. What can you tell me about that? Will it become noticeable, more and more noticeable, of someone staying or choosing to stay on 3D Earth versus someone wishing to or choosing to ascend with the 5D Earth? Can you tell me anything about that?
In terms of your physical reality to this question, you may see pools of populations begin to emerge where those of a certain consciousness stay in one pool and those of another make a new one.
So will it be like we both exist, but we don't necessarily talk to each other much?
Yes.
I see. So we could reach out, but we won't. How does that...
Oil and vinegar.
How does that work within a family?
It's sad. You may try. You can stay connected with that compassion, but there will be less overlap, or you will be serving different needs.
I see. And how do you recommend that we deal with that within a family?
Well, yes, with compassion.
With compassion. So try to find a common ground without falling towards it.
You cannot force feed someone to eat information they are not willing to digest.
Does she have questions to add?
She has had her questions asked by you.
Okay.
So she is content.
Okay. And do you have any messages for us?
Just keep going. You've only started.
To you, it seems like we only started.
Wow.
I know.
Everything was a preparation.
Yeah.
So it will not be difficult as you are used to difficult. Things will, as long as you act with that intention, you will find that things align for you to make it easier, is what the meaning is behind the load will be lighter.
Got it. That would be amazing. That will be amazing. That is amazing.
Yes.
And do you have any, are there any questions that I could have asked and didn't?
If you find that you have more questions, you may start a list for another time.
Okay. So we're complete for today?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. It's with so much love and gratitude that I now ask for the aid of the higher self. I know that all the energies we spoke to today came forward in so much aid and assistance to us today.